Hello and welcome to MetroArts. I'm your host, Sophia Sanchez. Here on MetroArts, we highlight some of the best in the business, from fine artists, photographers, and performing artists to cinematographers and musical artists, all from the Metro Detroit area. On today's show, we'll meet fashion designer Azzah Smith and introduce you to the talents of the Mosaic Youth Theatre. But first, we have the rock band Dearly Departed playing Glow Stick Tag.
This is the place that we always said come to if we'd ever drop down dead. Place where we thought we'd spend the rest of our lives. Boyfriend to girlfriend, from husband to wife. What did we expect? What did we believe? How in the hell could we ever have seen or imagine such a perfect place? It's kind of odd now, 'cause I can't even see your face. It's a place that we always said come to if we'd ever drop down dead. A place where we knew our lives weren't such a drag. Just where we played those games of glow stick tag.
You have a very energetic sound.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome to MetroArts.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us about the song that you just performed.
It's a song called Glow Stick Tag. I wrote it when I was 14 years old, and it's just me singing about an old group of friends I used to have and just kind of almost asking myself where they went, just wondering.
How did Dearly Departed come about?
It started in 2008 at South Lake High School. I was 16 years old. I was in an AP government class, and my drummer, Jesse Benz, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today, just turned to me one day and asked if I wanted to start a band, and 6 years later, still going strong.
Nice. So, would you like to introduce yourself and your bass player?
Sure. I'm Aaron Hepner. I'm the guitarist and the songwriter and the singer. And this is Roy Lozon, our bass player.
Nice. So, what's the process of writing music?
I mean, it's I think the biggest question you get is what comes first, the music or the lyrics, and it really varies. Sometimes I'll play guitar and I'll come up with something, or I'll think of a line, and it goes either way. I think the best songs are just the ones you piece together over time, not necessarily the ones you just write like that.
Cool. Where can we learn more about you?
We've got a SoundCloud, Dearly Departed. We're on SoundCloud, and I believe we have a Facebook too, and that's all run by Jesse. So, and we're going to be having a couple shows coming up. We have one at a Battle of the Bands at Diesel Concert Lounge, in Shelby Township, and it's going to be on December 6th. If people like what they hear and they can make it out to that, that would be amazing.
Awesome. And tell us about the next song that you're about to perform.
The next song we're about to perform is called King of the Night, and it was the first song we wrote when we had a hiatus for a little while. We came back, and this was the first one we wrote. And it's just kind of about being a night owl, and just trying to live at night more than the day.
Cool. Well, thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Here again is the band Dearly Departed. You're watching MetroArts on Detroit Public Television.
Too long, I guess I was wrong. The sun now burns out my eyes, and I ain't got the time or patience to deal with these men that don't live after days' demise. I got 20 good reasons to walk through this town, each one coming to mind the flicker of a light. I got a million more in mind that don't like to wait, so I don't even put up a fight. Alright. What the streets look like with a dark and an orange glow. And I forgot about the man on the moon and the stars and me singing song after song. And I ran away. I thought that I wanted the light, but the throne is mine again. No one can contend with me, the king of the night. Well, the crown's weighing heavy, I don't feel that steady. This time I wanna rule alone, and I need someone by my side to make sure it don't drift too far out of the zone. So if you're ready, girl, let me know, 'cause I'm ready, willing, and able. Let down your midnight lights, girl, and I'll show you my world, and I'll show you that it's not a fable. And I forgot what the streets look like with a dark and an orange glow. And I forgot about the man on the moon and the stars and me singing song after song. And I ran away. I thought that I wanted the light, but the throne is mine again. No one can contend with me, the king of the night. And I forgot what the streets look like with the dark and an orange glow. And I forgot about the man on the moon and the stars and me singing song after song. And I ran away. I thought that I wanted the light, but the throne is mine again. No one can contend with me, the king of the night.
And now let's welcome fashion designer Azzah Smith to the Midtown studio at Wayne State. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Your business is called A+W Designs. Tell us about that.
Sure. I'm the creative director for Art Plus Wear Designs. It was established in 2004. I'm a freelance designer. The company emphasizes volume, layering, and asymmetric cuts as part of its design aesthetic, highly influenced by ethnic culture, African culture, my heritage, and you'll see a lot of that in the work today.
Nice. How did you cultivate your passion for fashion?
Well, I've always had a strong interest in fashion since I would say grade school. I love art. I've always had a unique sense of style. I received a sewing machine when I was 15, and from there I started creating my own looks, and it started there.
What's the inspiration behind each look?
And each look is an individual look. So many inspirations for a particular garment the city of Detroit, what I see on the streets, what's trending, a lot of African culture, color, textiles, design.
Where do you go for inspiration?
No, I don't really need to go too far. I work for one of the 5th largest museums in the country, so when there, I'm always inspired by walking in any gallery. Maybe Eastern Asian galleries inspire me the most. A lot of African culture, European art influences my work.
You have a very unique sense of style. Tell us about that.
It's a little eclectic, kind of bohemian, kind of a mix of all kinds of cultures. A little funky twist and edge to it. City of Detroit inspires me. The hip hop community inspires me. So you'll see all that any given day in my own personal style.
Is there a favorite look that you've created?
It would have to be the crocheted work that I do, or the crocheted piece I brought here today. It allows you to create your own textiles, your own fiber, and that's a strong interest I have, is creating fabrics.
So crocheting takes quite a long time. How long did something like that take?
To do a piece like you'll see here today, it's a pair of trousers. Maybe the trousers could take maybe 40 hours, but I don't work on it consecutively. It could take about 2 weeks to construct just the pants alone.
Tell us about the other pieces that you brought for us today.
One of the looks you'll see is a kente dress with a petticoat. I like the fabric of that, the weave of the kente, mixed with leather, some denim that gives it a nice mix, a hard edge. I like the diverging prints that I've used, kind of a clash of different looks and styles.
What goes into the making of each garment?
Quite a bit. Yeah, first I shop for fabric, and the internet's a great tool for that, where you can shop for fabric all over the world. You don't have to go far and have it shipped right to you. So I do a fabric study, and then I will start designing. I sketch out what my mind's eye see as something hot or something I've been inspired by, and then I start creating that. Cut the fabric, make the patterns, and I'm in my studio sewing the garment.
Nice. And what inspired each of the pieces?
When you'll see what's trending now in fashion is a lot of African culture or a lot of ethnic looking items, and you'll see that in the work. I do work off trends. I want to stay current to what's happening in the fashion industry.
Nice. Do you have a favorite designer that you aspire to?
Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Oscar de la Renta, who is also a favorite. Been one of my icons, John Galliano. I like his unique, eclectic style, and Alexander McQueen for his artistry. He's a pure artist and a designer. Oh, yeah.
So how important is fashion in the Detroit community?
Fashion, it is very important in the Detroit community, just that it's an art form. But aside from that, it's also a retail business, which is something that will be paramount in the rebuilding of Detroit, a creative economy here in Detroit, creating or cultivating a creative workforce here in Detroit. That will kind of propel Detroit back on its feet, one of the portals to get Detroit functioning again, and perhaps some manufacturing behind that.
What do you think are the challenges of fashion in Detroit?
That it's limited and it's scattered, and we don't always work together as designers. I see that changing with the renewal of Detroit, so hopefully it will happen more often.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll work together. Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks, that we're disjointed.
Where can we find out more about you?
I have a website, artplusweardesigns.com. You can email me at art_timesweardesigns, Gmail, and Instagram, Azzah. You can follow me there.
Nice. And where can we see your work displayed?
The next collection I'm doing is called Afrohemian.
Okay.
It will be debuted at Pangaea Gallery December 20th. So that's where you'll see the full collection outside of what you've seen today.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
You're watching MetroArts on Detroit Public Television. And now let's welcome the Director of Theater Programs at Mosaic Youth Theatre, Courtney Burkett, to MetroArts. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So what is Mosaic Youth Theatre?
Mosaic Youth Theatre of Detroit is a youth development organization. We use the arts to help young people maximize their potential through professional performing arts training and the creation of theatrical and musical art that engages, transforms, and inspires. The organization has been around for 22 years, and we have young people from all over Metro Detroit who come to us for training to become actors and singers.
What are some of the requirements to become a member?
Well, you have to audition in order to be placed into our main stage or second stage companies. We do have first stage companies. We're a 3-tiered organization, so our main stage company is the top tier, and the second stage you have to audition in order to be a member of those. But if you're interested in just getting your feet wet and finding out if this is something that you would want to do, our first stage programs, you just have to sign up and attend. So it depends which level of the organization you're looking to enter into, but to be in the main stage company, you have to do an audition, and those happen every June, and you have to perform a monologue in order to be entered into the main stage acting company and sing a song to be entered into the singing company.
So there's also a singing company. Tell us about that.
So we have 2 different companies that, that we train young people in. The singing company performs choral music mostly, and they perform all over the state and all over the country even, and they rehearse regularly just like the acting company does. And we perform together, so we do big shows at the DIA or the music hall, and we do some shows that are combined, and sometimes we do shows that are separate. So we'll do a play and they'll do a concert, or sometimes we do plays with music.
Interesting, cool, so there's some collaboration there.
Absolutely, yes. The young people in both companies work together regularly, and they go out into the community together regularly. Their rehearsal schedule is together, so the young people really form a bond between the actors and the singers.
How many members are there?
In the main stage companies, the main stage company has about 110 members overall. In all three tiers of our training, we have about 250 young people involved in Mosaic Youth Theatre of Detroit.
That's quite a lot.
Yes.
Where are you located?
Our offices and rehearsal space, as well as a black box performance space, is near Eastern Market. We're on the corner of Shane and Antietam. We are inside of the University Prep Science and Math Elementary School there. We have a great partnership with that school, and it's the old Miller High School that was recently renovated, and we have these wonderful spaces inside of there. We'll be there for the next 20 years, so we're very excited about the partnership that brought us into this great space.
That's awesome. Where have you performed or been featured?
Well, we do our big main stage shows at the Detroit Institute of Arts at the Film Theater, which is really wonderful. It's an 1,100-seat theater, so we really love to fill up those seats with people who like to see a good show and also support the young people. We also have performed all over the world. The singers this summer went to the World Choir Games in Latvia. Mm-hmm. So we have gone, everywhere from the DIA and places around Metro Detroit to places all around the world in our 22 years.
Cool. What kind of training do the members receive there?
Well, it's a very intense training program, especially in the main stage company. So they have a minimum of 10 hours a week rehearsals, and when we're prepping for a show, that goes up considerably, and there's a lot more rehearsal. So they're rehearsing regularly. Usually, they're trying to get a show up. We work with them on their vocal quality, how they speak, how they create sound, also movement-based work. So we do all of that. We also have a lot of partners, so they get training from members from the Stratford Festival of Canada. We recently were at the Purple Rose Theatre doing a partnership and some training with those professionals. So they get a lot of exposure to a lot of different professionals throughout the field.
Nice. So we have a performance on set today. Tell us about that.
Well, these young people who are going to be doing a scene for you, they'll be doing a scene from Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, and that is from our Scene and Monologue Night. So at the beginning of our season, we come together, old members and new members, and they all get a piece of a play to bring to life. And this is a really lovely scene from The Importance of Being Earnest that these young women were cast in and performed in our Black Box Theater space in the fall. So they're really looking forward to sharing it with your audience and showing them some of the training and work that they have done.
Cool, we're really excited. So where can we learn more about you?
Well, we have a website, mosaicdetroit.org, and it's a beautiful website, and that has information about all of our training and all of our shows that are coming up and how to buy tickets and how to support the organization and the young people who are involved.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Courtney.
Thank you for having me.
And now let's enjoy a performance of The Importance of Being Earnest in the Midtown studio at Wayne State University.
let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Oh, Cecily Cardew, what a very sweet name. Something tells me we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say, and my first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we've known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
And that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favorable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have never heard of Papa, I suppose?
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I am glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for a man, and certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Cecily, Mama, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. So, do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
Oh, you are here on short visit, I suppose?
Oh, no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, is some female relative of advanced years, resides here also?
No, I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yeah, I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh, it is strange. He never mentioned to me he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I'm not sure, however, that this news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I'm very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you, but I am bound to state that now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I can't help expressing a wish that you were, well, a little older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly.
Pray do. I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42, and usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honor. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception, but even the men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible under the physical influences of others. I mean, modern, no less ancient history supplies us with many of the most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, history itself would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn, but did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Well, Ernest never mentioned to me he had a brother.
I'm sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
Well, that accounts for it. Oh, Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been a shame if a cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? But you are quite sure it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your ward.
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should keep it a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Sunday at the latest.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. For Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is quite strange, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you wish to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I am sorry if it is any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dearest Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I am bound to state that since Ernest has proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
Whatever entrapment the poor fellow had been entrapped into, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have gotten into, I will never reproach him with it once we are married.
Do you allude me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion such as this, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I have entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
Well, it is obvious our social spheres have been widely different, for I have never seen a spade.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. I would like to thank our guests, the band Dearly Departed, Azzah Smith, and the Mosaic Youth Theatre. Remember, you can watch any of our shows online at MetroArtsDetroit.com and find us on social media. I'm your host, Sophia Sanchez, reminding you to seek out inspiration and explore the arts in your community.